Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. Polina here, talking to you a little bit about this particular time that we have in the sky today. So I'm looking at two charts, one for the start of July and one for the finish of July. And we do have a lot to really give and think about. We have a lot to say. We have a lot of fortune coming to those people that really know how to give it and how to share and how to also address their own issues while not blaming anything on anybody else. And for real, there are going to be some really big life results in certain cases if you really, really care and if you can take care of other people. So it's really about the givers and the lovers, and also certain businesses and strategies that have a lot to give, and certain individuals that have a certain type of shared outcome. So for example, if you have a business or a family name that is really, really popular, and you have a lot of people that really love you for that which you do, or you really trust the world through the people that you naturally meet, and you have a very warm heart, it is going to be a very lucky time for you. Unfortunately, we also have emotions, we have some turmoil, we also have some family history that is coming back up to the surface, and we do have a lot of hurt and pain. We definitely have a lot of indecisive activity also because of certain emotions that people are having these days. And we have a lot of turmoil. And there are some people that are going to basically use this time unwisely because they're still thinking too much about certain things that have happened in the past. The past is going to let you know about it. So sometimes you will get a memo, you will get a note if you have not paid a bill, if you're not up to date on something, so if you haven't done the best you could have done on something or with somebody, you will get notified. So in a sense, it's very passive aggressive what Cancer does this year. It's not necessarily passive aggressive, it's very kind of slimy. So you may not necessarily hear from that person, but somebody else will let you know. So that means that you will hear the rumor or you will get notified in other ways. So Cancer sometimes will tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, do you know that you need to do something? Hey, did you get the memo? This time around, she's not going to be that fine, and she's not going to be as gentle as she always is, because we are in the dragon year, so there's going to be a little bit of fight, a little bit of fire. And yeah, definitely notice in terms of really superficial activity, if you have lied or if you had done something that you shouldn't have done, or if you are not doing things well, or they are outside of the system. For example, if you are beyond law and you're doing something, for example, you're taking money from the innocent, or you're making yourself bigger than other people at their expense, you will get memos, memos. So there could be something coming through and landing in your inbox. You could be getting messages from the bank and other people. So it's very, very hard for certain people if they haven't done the work, and if they don't really see the worth in everyday life, if they've been hidden or they've been hiding things behind other people's backs or doing things behind other people, there'll be some kind of system, there will be some kind of organized system that will definitely let those people know what's going on. So if you're getting letters in the mail, if you're getting any kind of tax office questions, it's a really, really good time to basically take care of those, because these can and will escalate. And also in terms of the police, anything to do with law and order, there could be definitely an escalation for certain people. So I'm seeing that the sky is really, really big for those people that haven't done something that they have had to do a long time ago. So also in terms of some people, other people, there's going to be definitely a lot of worth and a lot of worldview changes and shifts for certain individuals. There's going to come a time where you really, really see people for who they are or who they were, and it's going to be a no-brainer as to how everything fits socially, or how you fit as a family tree. So it's going to be a no-brainer, and it's going to be no nonsense as to why things are the way that they are and why people fit in the jigsaw puzzle of life the way that they do. Also, Cancer runs the skin. Cancer, talks of that which is in layers, talks of that which is joined, as of cells that have joined themselves together to make a tapestry of lives, to make a tapestry of events. So it is always going to be kind of in the favor of that which is joined onto something else. Cancer does not like a rogue. She doesn't like a random person. She doesn't necessarily want a random result. She wants to tie everything together like chainmail, if you can imagine. So if you can imagine, your skin also kind of is like that. So every single cell is attached to the other and the other and the other. So it becomes like a kind of like a tapestry. So in simple terms, terms, Cancer will not help you evolve or get far if you're not within a certain type of guideline. So within certain means, you have to hold hands with other people, you have to be known, and you have to be open to barter or open to exchange so that you don't become rogue, and that you're not acting almost like as a free radical, not necessarily. So you're not acting as a person that may be opposing others so much to the point where you don't have any connections anymore. It's really important for people that are naturally into esoteric things, because you might actually have a rebel inside of you, or a person inside of you that doesn't want to fit and doesn't want to say exactly what other people are saying, doesn't want to mean what other people are meaning, and doesn't want to be free in the way that other people see fit. So in a sense, a human being that doesn't really want to do that which other people are doing is very easily seen during this time. But whether or not you like it, there's going to be a question mark. Does everything fit for you? Does everything sit right for you? So definitely also for the younger audience members, there's going to be some psychosis for the younger people, because there is this really big question of individuality and also success that has come out of individual needs, wants, and desires. And as we do have Neptune sitting on the ascendant here, between Pisces and Aries, and we do have this big Pluto affecting him at a beautiful sextile. We've got Pluto in Aquarius. There's going to be definitely a question mark. Did you really mean that, which you said? Did you really need to be so out there or so outrageous? Are you really within means for other people to understand you? Do you really have like a family tree? Do you still have people protecting you, or do you have somebody standing behind you? Because it is kind of about supports. It's not about being a random like, hey guys, look at me, I'm awesome. That is not going to hold some people up. There is still going to be question marks and question marks beyond that. And certain individuals may not actually get there where they want to go unless they got somebody else speaking the word for them. So did you have somebody standing behind you? Did you have a support system? Do you have people that believe in you and trust you? And not many people maybe feel comfortable with that question, because we've been living very separatist lives. And for some reason, I'm feeling that a lot of people are really curious also about people that have done it within means, within reason. So it's like, if you really want, you can be on your own. And yes, you can do things perfectly in your own kind of sequencing method. And you can use your own philosophies, or you can use your own lifetime to kind of like show to people as to what you really got going on. But in certain cases, it's going to be a no-no. In certain cases, it's going to be not welcome. And we have to understand that, like, when your ideas are not welcome, or where you as a person end up naturally to be a minority in comparison to the majority. And shall we talk about it? Colonialism. Shall we talk about what is happening on this planet, and why certain people are getting that piece of cake? Why are people tied to certain Spanish. Been speaking Spanish a lot. It's getting messy with my English. Okay. Certain larger, grander can work. Larger situations. So, for example, if you are not somebody that is supported by a larger body of people, or if you are not within reason for certain people, you may not actually get asked to provide your input. So, for example, if you're in a minority group, it could be a racial minority group, and such, you may not necessarily be asked by the larger body of people to produce something or to provide something. You may not be of interest to other people, and maybe your business and your ideas will still land on deaf ears. So this is really not fair. It's really not fair. So sometimes a person will be guided and even asked to support other people. They will be put on a pedestal, or they will be put amongst maybe even wealthier or more joined community, and they will be given a root system, because Cancer is at the bottom of the astrological chart. So it is speaking of the root systems and things that we've done and seen before, and also what our ancestors have done and seen before. And in certain cases, it's like, nah, we don't want this, we don't want to hear from this, we don't want to help this, So for example, like, I'm sorry this is harsh, if you look at the Aborigines people in Australia, like, they really don't have any say. I lived in Australia for a few years, and maybe part of the reason why I left was because there was such grand inequality between the Indigenous and the surface people there. So that's the thing. And maybe this thinking pattern goes, a long way. We don't necessarily have to discuss it on an astrology channel, but there is definitely a part of me that wonders how would the world be if we actually had a little bit more equality and a little bit more care in a very even way, and what if the Indigenous people really had their say and their choices? So yeah, that's a question that's always going to come with me, and I'll never stop questioning. I'll never stop asking. So never mind, let's come back to you, and it's your time. The astrology channel, is maybe it's kind of like insignificant if it doesn't actually speak to you and your needs and popular demand. So what is the popular demand? How much am I going to get paid? What am I going to do next? Do I find love in this time? Is this a good time to build a house? Is this a good time to marry? So let's talk about those things that everybody else wants to talk about. No worries. No worries. I'm not trying to be spiky here. It just so happens I got a lot of Scorpio. So let's talk about this. About what people really want to know. So what people want to know is how it's going to end up for me. So there is like a selfishness in everybody that is awakening during Cancer. It is about feeling moisturized and loved by other people. It is about, getting those friends and getting that love and getting that money or getting those juices flowing. It is about pampering, and definitely some people really enjoy glamour. And as I said previously in the Dragon Year predictions in general, people will favor art and glamour and style and things that they can have, they can keep on their person, over that which is normal and neutral. So not many people will want to just like put their shoes on their feet and freaking do the walking and ask the questions and learn something, which is what I've been guiding my audience on Patreon to do, is just like not to lose yourself in this need for luster and love and sensuality and aroma, because Cancer this time around will definitely bring up a lot of glamour and wants and needs. It's like, this is mine, my house, my partner, my love, my thing. So selfishness in a very natural kind of biological way wants to drink up the fluids. It wants to drink up whatever it can. Sometimes people will overeat, or they will over-sensualize something or somebody. They may want to be in a very luscious situation. People will want those bourgeois ideas, and they will want to express themselves in a very bourgeois way. So in a sense, it is not necessarily about all people in the world, but for quite a lot of people, it is going to be about covering those gaps that they have in their lives, covering those doubts by using fashion and fame and flavor and love, and all of those tasty, magnificent things that people sometimes feel like they live for, so like having a celebration, having a big party, and also having people know who you are. So it's very, not necessarily gregarious, it's very vivacious. It's very much about what one has, so sometimes people like to, sprinkle a little bit glamour here and there. They will show off their diamond rings and their earrings, and they'll want everybody to understand that they come from a certain class or a system of people, so a system of trust. So definitely there is favorites, there is the person that knows the boss, there is the person next to the king or the queen, there is a person with more money, and there is a person with more power, and that's going to just spread throughout the consciousness. So it's like a certain type of a viral frequency, I feel, and everybody kind of wants to do a little more to like plumb themselves up and, feel more secure in themselves by the way that they look like on the outside and what other people will think of them. So yeah, there is definitely that other side, that there's this other side. And I'm feeling a lot of people will just simply forget who they are and the nitty-gritty of their work, the nitty-gritty of their world. They will not want to look at the details. They will not want to study. They will not necessarily want to improve their philosophies this month around. They will want to go in there. It's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, where's the party? Where can I eat all that I want? Where's the buffet? People want the buffet more than they want the nitty-gritty of their lives. So if you are a very rare, here we go, introvert, curious person, the free radical, I'm not sure. If you're a person who's a little bit of an outsider, maybe you don't have any choice but to go inside and solve your problem yourself. And I really like you for that, actually. So when it comes to really getting the most out of this time and actually really drinking up that juice and getting all that, it's not about the external things. It's not about how you measured up against other people necessarily at all. It's not about the gift of the gab or if you look good on camera. It's not about whether or not other people think you're beautiful, popular, or special. It's actually more in the intermittent qualities of everything that you have going on. So you have to, trust me on this. I've done a lot of this in the past, and it's been part of my job. Looking at the organs, looking at the inside of the body, looking at the tissues, thinking, am I doing well? Looking at the inside of your business. So it doesn't matter if it looks posh and fancy on the outside and it looks like it's blooming on the outside. You can do better. Take this time. The opportunity is yours. Now, I know that this is not going to be many people's favorite choice during this time because they just want to let go and put their feet up and be somewhere cushy and nice. But you see, the cushier your life sometimes, the more you forget about why you live. So like this whole feeling of just like having a bottle of wine with a friend and like singing those hymns together, singing those songs may actually potentially distort you later. So I'm seeing drunkenness. I'm seeing also fights for nothing. I'm seeing egos protruding during this time. And the reason is because people don't want to actually see what's right or wrong. People don't want to know what's going on inside their body after they eat a certain meal. They don't want to know what is going on inside of themselves after they make a certain choice. So basically what I would probably suggest to everybody and anybody watching this today is go into the details and try to study. Study yourself, study your life, make sure that it works on every level. So this is about core beliefs. If you have a beautiful new business coming up, I salute you. I have a new website going up now, it's up now. It still needs a bit of work, but yeah, it's going up. There's need to really, really think and redefine and understand the full picture, which you will not understand if you're just looking outside, like you are shopping, like you're a client and you're just paying money or you're just looking around. You will not understand who you are. But if you go inside and you feel it inside your body, if you see it inside of you, if you recognize who you are, if you also understand the intermittent, linked and secret or hidden processes in your body, in yourself as a person, in your mind, in your psyche, or in your business and in your home, you will get so much more than you even imagine. If you just basically respect life for who she is, it's not just like a picnic. It's not just like, oh, everything is so beautiful and green and fair, and I'm just sitting here with my bottle of wine and I don't care. So it's not like being a drunk little monkey wanting to get more drunk on life. It's not about being drunk on previous life results, because, to me, they look really tiny in conclusion if you don't really understand how it all works. The world of a hero, the world of a dragon, and the world of a person that really understands how the body works or how the world is, or like they understand the exquisite parts of what is life. They realize, they understand the full nature of their time here, usually comes from a certain intermittent quality to them. It's a very complex world inside. It's very complicated to understand, for example, how a tree grows or how a person survives or strives. It's complicated, like all those little intermittent parts of a body, all those intermittent voices, and all of those little almost like a crackly bits, little sprinkly bits of what makes a life. If you really wanted to, you could get a lot of things out to the surface. It's a really great time to go, like, honestly, like G.I. Joe, G.I. Jane on cleansing and healing. It's really beautiful to initiate your body. It's interesting to put it through different things. For example, go out into the mountains and just walk for ages and ages and get like sweaty and feel horrible, and feel the stress, but also understand that you're persevering, doing something different, and then also treat yourself to something, but also don't make it all about drunkenness. So it's not just about laying in the bath for the duration of July. It's about making sense. And also, yeah, sure, maybe some people don't like this, but understand anything and everything has a cause and effect. Nothing is just because, like, yeah, I got like, the VIP ticket to life and I can just, smoke and drink and do whatever I want. Let's not get lost in the bourgeois idea of just getting, taking, eating, consuming, and having. And let's just ask a little bit of a better question as to what it is really that you want. And maybe that question is very deep. And for some people, I feel that for some reason, having a picnic or running away from home and, having fun and having sex and having joy will actually do the best for them, because they don't actually think far enough into the future. They don't maybe feel anything to do with what it is in the end. They're just enjoying it. They're like, yeah, I know, I'm just going to sing some songs, and, play my guitar, and I don't know, I guess I'm going to, make love, and that's all. It's like a drunken view of life, and it is about just enjoyment and, sitting and having a picnic under the stars. And there's actually nothing really wrong with it, because the moon, the lunar energy may indeed bring it out of you. But the perfect thing is also to recognize that apart from this dream and this destiny that gets self-evolved through dreaming, like the more weed you smoke, you know, the more time you spend with certain people, the more like just ideas you kind of like sort of sliming through, the more your life goes that way. So also, yeah, of course, if you're spending time with certain people, like for example, if all of your friends and family are stoners, if everybody's like, yeah, don't worry about it, forget the world, it's fine. You may not necessarily believe me or trust me in this because you probably, you know, don't care for what I say, but here it is. Try to get there. Try to open up this body, like open up these feelings, try to walk inside. And this is a very solar approach, and I do understand maybe for some people it's a no-no, because like the moon is just when you go to sleep and forget. It's okay, I want to drink, or like it's okay, I want to party, like I just don't want to see any of this. I don't know how to yeah, why surpass my previous states. I don't know how to evolve. So yeah, this is a thing. Evolution. You've come to the right place. Hello, this is my channel. Evolution, and also really wanting to evolve your genome and wanting to evolve your story and your life, and maybe also your partner's life and story, maybe your mother's life and story, your father's life and story, wanting to evolve your children's life and story through just basically recognizing that if you look at the picture clearly and you take away all the smoke and mirrors, if you take away all the glamour and the bohemian pretense of what life is, and this kind of like, you know, like this actual, weakness and also emotionality that is covering up dents, you know. So in the sense, if you think about it, Cancer is like a glue, like a paste. And it doesn't want us to see the dents. It's like makeup that covers up all the pores. You know, it's like clothes that make your body look like it's not what it is. People really want it sometimes, and they're like, look, just let me have a holiday. And like a lot of the makeup business, the beauty industry, everything like that is just like, you know, if you suck your body in, if you put on this corset, you will pass, you know, you will pass for this or you'll pass for that. And I don't care. It's like, I don't care to lose weight, or I don't care to get fit. I don't care to get clean. I just want to like pretend that I'm this, like for like one day. Just let me pretend. Just let me pretend, and like, let me make fun. Like also, yeah, that's the thing. Let me make fun of those that haven't got there. So it's like, for example, you have an incredible amount of money. I don't know where it comes from. Let's not talk about it. Like say you have an incredible amount of money, you have like, you know, your clothes, and you know, you have created yourself into this person, and you're like sitting there like smoking, nobody got what I got. So this is also the density that I'm feeling for a lot of people, is a judgment of somebody else that doesn't have it, doesn't have that which you think that you want. So for example, you've been brought up on TikTok and Reels, and you're thinking like every single woman in the world should be like this, you know, like every single person should be like in a certain type of, not necessarily constriction, but they should have a certain look, or they should have a certain feel, or they should dance a certain dance and have certain beliefs. And then you might be also judgmental for anybody who doesn't have it. Like, for example, you don't use a filter. What's wrong with you? You know, or it's like, for example, you don't look that glamorous, or you don't look that made up. So like that's the thing, like made up faces, made up fashion, made up ideas, made up voices and personalities. And people wouldn't actually rather look at themselves. I may as well close this whole channel, right? Sorry, I'm joking. People don't necessarily want to have a look at the actual beauty, the pain, and the storyline that nature creates within itself. It's not about the white and black. It's not about the sad and happy. It's not about the shadow and light. It's not about all of those different energies and faces that are still left over from Gemini season. It's not about playing a game and role-playing between characters, which is what a lot of families have become over the years. It's not actually about this. And it's not about mother or father, duty, patriarchy or matriarchy. It's more just about the intermittent, fresh, ever-growing and ever-fertile world of what life is. But whether or not you like it, it is so fine. It's so fine-lined. It has such a quality. It's like if you were really there and you really felt what you were feeling, if you really understood and you really felt interested in what life was, and you were willing to educate yourself and catch up to the next frequency, because the frequencies here are very fast, very young, fresh and free. It's just whether or not you can see it for yourself to go further and keep on, dancing this world. But it's not for the sake of somebody else's eyes getting to see you and feel you. It's not about another person wanting to catch you. It's not a game of cat and mouse anymore. Also in terms of spouses and love and love making, it's not about cat and mouse. It's just about recognizing that you have an enormous future if you were just to recognize and respect and connect to what is here today and really get to know it. So you're making a meal, really be present, understand how you're doing it, realize your process. I've always been putting too much sugar in my meals. Okay, great, good. Now you have to stop that. It's a little thing. It will take care of itself. Everything, your bile, your body, your skin, everything will become so much fresher if you should just change a little thing, a little bit of your thinking pattern. You know, so for example, yeah, your children, like, don't talk about my kids. I just want to go sit in the sun. I just want to enjoy my day. Okay. If you really look at your children, you don't need to discipline them. You don't need to apply violence. You don't need to program them or manipulate them into being better people. You just have to look at them and understand who they are. It's just all about observation, not just observation. It's also about not necessarily control. It's not just control. It's not realizing what is this that you are, what you are inside of. What is this thing called life? What are those cells doing? What are those people saying? It's about curiosity. It's not about curiosity, about the magic that is intermittent between different fragments of what life is. And this is a really, really big reality that you're living, and you could be living in yet. So it's not actually about necessarily understanding it and thinking. It's just like understanding it and letting it guide you into changing itself. So if we are looking at the fascia, Moon rules the fascia and the connected tissues in the body, also some of the water, you know. So this is the thing. If you really want, you can manage yourself better. You can understand yourself better. If you're speaking, you can speak better. You can learn from speaking itself as to how to do it better. Nobody needs to teach you how to speak. You don't need a vocal coach. You don't need a presence coach. You don't need a mathematician to solve your puzzles. It's just whether or not you are here enough and you're open enough to learn. So it's just about learning and becoming a guru within yourself, for yourself. It's about also understanding that, yeah, we are in a time of skin and the surface things, because cancer is like the protective connected tissues that protect things and make sure that they don't go outside of their binds. As that's what skin is, you know, it's like a protective barrier between you and the outside world. It's not just about this. It's just about knowing how to muse things into creation and not force life. It's knowing about how to connect and, control also the amount of water and the amount of rest you take. But you see, control is something for the weak and for the not very opportune. Like if we want, we can definitely become more aware and more awake, where you don't have to imagine how would be better and like pull it into place. It's not about pulling anything. That's the danger, because you pull it into place, it pops out. You pull it again, it pops out. So it's not about trying to make some kind of vision or mission possible for yourself, which expects life to be a certain type of uncontrollable, scary thing where you have to really pull yourself into like control, or pull yourself into some kind of a mission or vision. It's not actually at all. It's never going to be clever enough. If you use any control in your life, if you control yourself regularly, or if you use force or control, it's not going to be that which you really want it to be. Even if you build a huge castle, if you build a huge house by controlling other people, making them do it, even if you make yourself make that money, if you make other people around you understand you, it's still going to be heavy, dense, and dark. There's still going to be an uncontrollable factor of life. Like there is mold and fungus, it grows where there's too much pressure or control that's been applied. Things crumble, you know. Rome fell. So also the thing is just about not being so much in pleasure also over these things that may not necessarily be right for you to do, to have. And these certain things definitely have to do with control and a certain type of affection, a certain type of connections, and certain types of lives and life stories that have a certain element of being controlled or having to control another person and making sure that they're going to get you what you need. So I feel that maybe it is perfect to change how you do it. If you know that you have to suffer a lot to get something done, if you know that you have to do many things in order to put this one thing together, if you know that you have suffered a lot to be somewhere, please identify that part of you or that plane on which you're working, which is unnecessary. Unnecessary. No, who are you to tell me this? And now here we have meanings. You know, I don't want to go there because it's a shadowland, but okay. Meanings and esteem that people get from having to do something very difficult, and then they tell other people about it. It's like, do you know? Like, you know, back in the day, I had to walk to school in the snow barefoot, you know, so there's this really like big depression that sometimes happens with these people, and they get a little bit of light by saying, aren't I lucky though? Aren't I lucky? So that's the thing. We have to be okay about a certain type of evolution that's taken place for many a century, where people did have to go through quite a lot of poverty, guilt, lack, badness, bad behavior, stagnation, sadness, depression, anger, frustration, pain, and low energy, also like really shadow energy. But then they are here now. So like that's the thing, is not to be afraid to cry if you have made a life that you do not like to live in. So basically, if you don't really need it, make it concise. That's the thing. Also, we have some demons. People have over embellished ways that they have been living for such a long time that they don't need or they cannot possibly support or recognize. People have mother issues or father figure issues. They have doubts about their kids. You know, they have things that are just like painful. The minute you start thinking about it, it just makes you feel like everything is blowing out of proportion. So it's just about recognizing that it's not necessary. It's not necessary to struggle. If you really understand that you don't need to struggle, Leo is going to treat you so much better. But Leo, at the end of the month, it's not just about this. It's just about all of it. Doesn't necessarily like you having just a good day. So that's the thing also, yeah, in terms of connecting to Cancer, and why some people also on the other side would just need to suddenly learn to relax, even if people are just drinking themselves out under the table thinking, I'm just going to have a good time just having a drink. I don't care whether it is healthy for me or not, and what is the long-term repercussion of anything. Because I also get it, sometimes people will make frivolous, pointless, bourgeois life results and meanings because simply like they just want to like rest and they want to get away from the life of their ancestors or their own life as it is. So in a sense, Leo is going to come and is going to make it very special what you think is great. Is going to make it very big what you think is already dense and large. Is going to make it very angry if you're already angry but you're hiding it. Is going to make it very, very achieved if you just started something, or is going to make it very deeply colorful and meaningful if you just started to look for meaning, if you started to achieve some kind of life results. So in a sense, Leo is going to amp up the color, amp up the flavor. So if you can imagine, like, you know, like in a way, like Cancer is kind of like about sleepwalking through life and enjoying the mirage. And then as we kind of get to the end of the month, as we go into this Leo time, it's going to be like, okay, you know, because it's a very, very convulsive and deeply joyous and emotional and sensitive sign. So it's going to just, you know, like pull all this pressure. It's going to pull all this also stress, also all this anger, and also all this goodness into something tangible and compact, because Leo likes to see a prize. It likes to see a golden trophy on your cabinet. It likes to see something to show for it. It doesn't just want to leave you alone there in the midst of something. It doesn't want to just like see you kind of dancing through eternity. It wishes you to have something or somebody in your life that is tangible and it is pure. So this is really great for people that cannot grasp anything at the moment. They're like, oh, the minute that I call somebody, they hang up, or the minute that I think of something, it disappears, you know. So if Cancer has become like a land of labyrinths for you, which is actually very cool, you're already on the journey to success if you have allowed your life to be just like a mysterious sort of tapestry of labyrinth, which is what the body is in a sense. It is like a labyrinth, like a cave within which everything happens at the same time and for its own reasons, you know, without your mind being involved. You know, the automatic nature of the body and its impulses and its struggles and everything like that, as Cancer does definitely bring us back to the physical self, but maybe in a very like naive and soft plushy way, but then inevitably we'll have to get somehow aggressive, as Leo is going to ask us to push, because Leo is the heart muscle. So it is going to be about pushing and making it and managing things, and actually also allowing the past to be the past. And suddenly we have a completely new story, as it is the fire sign. It is a second fire sign. So sometimes, you know, every time you get a fire sign, you know, transition, you are maybe asked, or you are in power to just totally change the story, burn down the previous and start afresh. So all the fire signs, Aries especially, Leo and Sagittarius, they are kind of forgetful signs, and they sort of want to like throw all of that stuff away so that they can have a nice power move and a nice simple job, or a nice simple positive day. It's like, I just want to have a good day, okay? So this is like Leo, I just want to have a good day, okay? Like, let's just have a good day. So the thing basically is with Cancer, what not to be is not to be dismissive of what comes out from under the surface. If you have an enormous ache If you have an enormous pain, it is easier to solve it now with many healers involved, with many family members or many different plants that you're taking, than to walk forward with it also. And I understand that. So the thing also that while we are in Cancer, we get to do some really amazing work on ourselves inside as outside. It is really, really good also to spruce up and paint your walls, paint your ceiling, make your house look wonderful. Get yourself together, get yourself some nice rags. But this is not the important part of where we are as people. Where we are as a universe, the main spectrum or the main connection that we have during Cancer is to maybe grieve out if it's really, really intangible or like really heartbreaking what we are actually going through, and try to make sure that you make it out of these mazes that your family members have made for you as well. So this is where I'm going to be going this month around. So if you like, subscribe to my Patreon channel. And why? Is because I will be doing a lot of lectures this month around based on what if you don't want to live the storyline that you have been given by your ancestry. And it's like, there's no other way. I'm just going to be this. I'm just going to be like, for example, I'm susceptible to being ill, or I'm just susceptible to being sad. I'm just susceptible, like my mom wanted me to be this, or like I was born this way. So I'm going to also go through a lot. I will be working out all through the month, hopefully, and it's going to be all more about getting not necessarily aggressive or angry at the past and deciding to just throw it away and chop it out. It's not about chopping it away. It's just about knowing that there are other ways forward. So coming back to this whole feeling of life being like a maze in Cancer, a maze that you actually have access to. Okay, so this is a really beautiful way, I suppose, to think about it. If you ever wanted to go to the insides of your brain, if you ever wanted to go into the inner workings of your body or your mind or your spirit, this is a beautiful time, and you can disconnect. And so you throw away like some of that garbage from yesteryear. And for some reason, yeah, maybe some people are capable of just chopping things off or just pretending they never happened, or just forgetting about them, or just making sure that they don't have access to that part of their mind or that part of their spirit anymore, which takes a real shaman to be able to do. It's like, chop, okay, we're going forward, that's a real big miracle, But in certain cases, I understand and I respect that some people will not be able to recognize these quick, fast changes that are happening throughout Cancer, and they will not be able to like really take the driver's seat. They will not be able to really take control, not necessarily control. They will not be able to be aware and awake enough to be able to, in the moment, choose the better jobs, for example, or choose the better methods. They may not be aware or crisp enough to be able to talk to themselves in such a way which will be conclusive in the end. They will not be able to make the right choice because they're still kind of dreaming, and they're like, oh, don't wake me, I'm just having some rest before Leo comes. And I get you, because there's going to be a dreaminess and a kind of like an emptiness and a little bit of a sorrow or a little bit of a selfishness to any, actually not every water sign, the signs below, so, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. There's a little bit of selfishness there, And it's not necessarily about you or your selfish needs or anything. It's just like, look, like I'm like so close to the ground right now. I just want to make sure that like I have good habits. I want to make sure that my heart is beating okay. I don't necessarily want the complexity of life, to be in front of me to solve. I don't want to go so deep, and like say, oh my God, like I have to cancel these subscriptions. I have to like pay that person. I have to like make sure that I'm fine with the tax office. I got to make sure. I really don't like that, like say, yeah. And then Virgo has so much to do. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio have so much to do. So if you are like, I'm just innocent, like honestly, Polina, like this is nice that you know how, but I honestly just want to like separate myself from this idea that I can help myself evolve and I can go past the place where I'm at. Because I honestly want to just be comfortable. This is the roots of the family tree. This is the roots of the family. This is the roots of like why we split into certain groups in society and why we want to do exactly what the other person does. It's like I would honestly rather fit in than, like have my say. And this is why we've got the whole 1% and 99% question mark. Why is there the 1%? Why there are the 99%? Not necessarily just about the large families and the large enterprises, although part of it is just whether or not you want to be aware enough and you have enough essence to actually be here present, while other people are dreaming and they're just like, like, I'm gonna just imagine and I'm gonna fall asleep and I'm going to also let other people dream around me, and nothing is real. It's all like, hey, small talk, everything's nice, we're safe, are we friends, and then it doesn't actually become anything else. It cannot be anything else. So people murmur like that, and 5 or 6 years later it's like, whoa, where am I? I've been part of a little game between people. I've been okay, I wasn't aware enough, I wasn't awake. So it's like people drinking their life away, people taking drugs. It's not just about that. It's just like people being in very unconscious, not just conditional little friendships in neighborhoods that don't necessarily do anything for you, and you don't necessarily want to be there. So that's the thing. The root system of the astrology chart, Cancer, it's like, do you want to be here forever? Do you want your kids to be here too? Do you like yourself on this level? Do you think that other people should also be like this? Do you stand behind your life 100%? Can you imagine yourself keeping on going in this way for ages? Can you imagine making another and another and another dream the same way? Can you make another and another and another cell in this way? Can you fit this pattern later on in life? Or if you understand that you don't actually really like it and something about it hurts, it's just like you dreaming your life away, you will need to necessarily go inside your own stuff yourself. This is the cardinal sign. It's about independence, so independent thought and actually feelings. Underneath it all, you probably really nurture yourself, or you really, really got yourself together. It's just whether or not you like it, you might have to go back to the drawing board. It's nice to go back inside and have a look. It's nice to go back and restructure some things, to try and be less naive, to try and be less practical for other people, and to feel what it is that you've really got. And after this, Leo is not going to be the same as it would be now. So at this point, if you're really an alchemist, if you're really, really true to yourself, and you would really like to have a look as to what this world is inside, and you want to solve many puzzles that you're working with, and maybe you're wondering, why not just close this and close that, and I have a more beautiful and streamlined life, the world will help you so much more. A more beautiful, streamlined, exact experience, a more beautiful, sensitive step in the world, a quicker and more obvious gain, a quicker game plan, like a more productive reality, a more youthful and more energetic body, or just more money, sure, or like more power, more freedom can be made if you just look at the sequencing during Cancer. If you look at how your body works, if you look at how your home works, inside out, not just for beauty, not just for pleasure, not just like what people say when they walk inside, or if it looks good on a photograph, if it actually really does it for you. If your body does it for you, if your time does it for you, if how you do it really puts that momentum into spin naturally and automatically. Naturally and automatically. That's what we want. That's the better way. Natural and automatic. Natural and automatic. You don't have to think so much. It's like a colibri bird, with this. It's like a hummingbird flapping its wings really fast. It doesn't have to, flap its wings. It's not like an albatross or something like that. It's like, it's kind of like happens on its own, by its own design, by its own device, and you don't have to pressure yourself. So this is also like colibri. The hummingbird is a symbol for an open heart. So it just beats. It doesn't have to beat. It beats by itself. So it's kind of like an automatic pulse, the pulse of life. And this is the exquisite part, I suppose, of this Cancer to Leo time, this July, is just having it automatic, having things that line up, and do that dance for you. So it's like automatically renewing systems, not where you have to, I have to log on, log off, I have to do this, do that. Automatic systems, self-irrigating systems. A self-irrigating, joyous body. It's not like, I saw this person and they told me I look nice and I felt good. It's like you feel good regardless of what anybody could possibly tell you. You feel nice, you feel young, you feel fresh, you feel happy, you feel amazing. So this is more a solar path. And yeah, I've spent many years solving the lunar puzzle. So I'll just tell you, I've been predicting every single day for myself. So I knew what the moon was going to do in the day and what I was going to do based on my lunar expression. And I just basically blocked it. yeah, that's been going on since 2017. So yeah, a few years later, I don't have any lunar automation. And what can I say? Lunar automation, memories. Somebody else said that, so I got to say that. Somebody else is doing this, so I got to do this. So this kind of reflective thing, it's like, oh, if you do this, then I'll do that. This repetitive thing, it's like my mother did this, so I will do this. Everybody expected me to do this, and I will do that. This is something that I've got going on a very small level now. But that was very, very strong for me. I got the moon in my first house. So basically, to cut this short, because we are going into 44 minutes, 45 minutes. Polina, what are you doing? Okay, so we have basically a lot to give and take during this time. And it's really nice to balance things out and stuff. But imagine what if you had a little bit more consciousness and a little bit more ease in doing what you would like to do and not just repeat somebody else's thoughts, words, or cycles. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. Okay, so thank you very much. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Also have a look at my Patreon channel and my new website. That should be up now. Thank you very much. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time.